Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead. Right here today we're going to be trimming our blueberries. We promised y'all this video. We're going to try to go ahead and get started because we're in our blueberry orchard today. It's been cold enough now. I don't think that we're going to have to worry about any problems. It's late December. It should be good for anybody in any region of the country now to do their blueberry pruning. So we're going to show you what we do on our blueberries. Now it may not be what they show you at the universities, but it's what Danny does at Deep South Homestead to his blueberries, and we've had great success. So here we go, we're going to start doing some trimming. Okay guys, I have a product here that was sent to me. It's been sent to me a long time ago. As a matter of fact, I just found it. I forgot we even had it. It's called the Sensei. Comes in a nice carrying case. It's magnetically closed. Look at this. Talk about a nice set of shears. And I do apologize to the company for not getting this out. But these come in its own carrying case. Very nice set of side-by-sides. You squeeze it, flip the lever, comes open. I'm talking about this is got nice rubber handles. Good set of shears, guys. And this is what we're going to use today to do the pruning on this blueberry bush with. Okay guys, I didn't do this earlier because we had some real weird weather this year, and I was afraid if I pruned them back too quick that they would go to start putting on new growth, and the new growth would kill them during the winter time, because our weather was like a roller coaster this year. It's been up, down, and now it's actually cold enough I believe I can get away with it, even though we have some that have blooms on them and we see buds popping out everywhere. So I'm like, you know what, it's late December, I need to get this done, and I need to do it for y'all as well as for me. So we're going to show you how we're going to begin on a tree. Now, there's a few things I want to talk about here. Is first of all, and whenever I'm doing trees, especially blueberries, I don't like over 6 canes coming up out of the ground at one time, because it just makes the tree too cluttered for me. I think the fewer the canes, 6 or less, you end up with a lot larger berries and a lot better controllable bush. Now, the first thing I'm going to do this tree is go to the ground, and we're going to see if there's over 6 canes, and if they are, we're going to figure out which one to take out. Okay, so we have one. Let me get some of these weeds out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what we're going to do, we're going to get rid of these little ones here. We're just going to go ahead and clip them off, because these are just going to sucker the plant right now. We're going to get this out of here. Now that we have them, we're going to look inside the tree here, and we're going to see we have some sprouts, water sprouts growing up in here. That's actually growed all up inside the tree. They're not really of any use to anything. We have some lower branches down here. We're going to first of all start taking off the lower branches, and you want to cut them pretty close up to the tree. On all this up through here, because some of these branches are actually dead, so we want to get them off. And I like to take all my trimmings out from around the tree and just pile them up, so that I can come back later with the tractor and we can actually pick that stuff up and get it out of the field. Now here's a lower branch right here. We're going to get it off out of the way, because what happens is, with too many lower branches, when you come in here and you begin to mow, your lawnmower hangs on these low branches and you actually just jerk the tree around and stuff like that, and that's not what I'm after in a blueberry bush. I want my blueberry bushes to be open, but yet have good shape. These trees now are 3 years old. This is actually the first heavy trimming that we have done on these trees. Now there's a couple of things I'm going to note here. We have one tree that's coming up through here that's actually wrapped around a limb here. I'm not going to worry too much about that, because it gives good shape to the tree up there. I'm going to take out a few internal limbs there. And I know a lot of people would say, oh, you need to take this one out. But right now, this year, it's a good heavy, looks like it's going to be a good heavy producer. So I probably will, well, let's look and see right here. Let's just take a look. We've got a lot of water sprouts in here. There's one coming up right here. I think we're going to get rid of this one. Let's get this water sprout out of there. Let's kind of look at it a little bit as we go. We've got another, this tree right here. We've got a low limb right here. I'm gonna get this one off. I'm trying to create good airflow underneath the tree right here. We have some internal limbs right in here. I'm gonna get this one off so I can keep the airflow up through it. The object is to get these trees up. These are hand-picked trees. I'm trying to get them up to about 6 feet high so that I can hand-pick them very easy. Now we're getting out a lot of dead stuff in here so that we can open this tree up a little bit on the inside. Lots of times blueberries will be self-pruning on a lot of their interior branches here. Now we have another water sprout coming up right here. Trying to look and see, it's growed right up through the middle of everything. I think I'm going to take that one off. Get it out of there. There we go. We've got another one right here in the middle. I'm going to get this off. This. And that. This has been broke off already by the lawnmower going by. Okay, and we do have this tree, this cane right here. You know, I think you can have up to 6 canes, and I'm trying to determine which ones of these I actually want to leave. I think I'm going to take this one out right here. I don't think it's going to benefit us any. From what I'm trying to determine whether I want to cut it off high and let it branch out over this way. Because if I cut it off up here, what I'm going to end up with is I'm going to end up with just a bunch of sprouts coming out right here. So I may just take it out all the way to the ground. I think I probably will. Make this tree open on up. Look at it. I know it sounds horrible to do all this heavy pruning. Okay guys, I want to take out this internal group right here. It's not going to really serve any purpose up inside the tree. We've got all these internal limbs here. They're not going to be really doing any good in here. The ones that grow toward the inside of the tree, because we want airflow up in here. Okay guys, we got this limb here. This one's all up in here, brushing up against this one. You can see where it's rubbed into the side of it right there. I don't want to take this one out because it has a really good shape to it. This one's kind of growed around up into the side of the tree here, so I think we're just going to take this whole section off right here. Take that out. Because what we have now, pull our limbs out, we actually have a better airflow inside here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach up top up here, and right above these little sprouts sticking up here like this, you have this one sprout coming out here with the buds on it. I'm going to come right above it. I'm going to just clip that one off. And I want this to be about the height of the tree. This is about 6.5 foot. We're just going to take them out, get rid of them. I'm going to look around on the tree. We got another one right here. We're going to get rid of it. That will get our tree up to pretty good height. I think that it looks okay. I got one more limb right here. I think I'm going to take this limb off right here. It's growed up into this one. That'll help us to get a little bit better airflow in the tree. Now, I think that's going to look a lot better. I think the tree will do a lot better. Next year, we probably will do away with this one right here completely next year. And we'll probably take these lower limbs off once this gets a little fuller up here, so that we have a little bit more airflow underneath the bottom. But that's basically where we're at with the tree. I think that'll take care of it. We're going to leave this tree like this for another year. And we're going to move on to some of the other trees in the orchard out here now and see if we can't get the rest of them trimmed out. Okay, this is the amount we took off this one tree. I know it seems like a lot, but in the long run, the tree will actually produce better because the tree looks open. It looks 100% better than it did. Okay guys, we got a bunch of sprouts on this one coming up at the ground here. We're gonna get rid of all of them. But we don't need all this out here. This little one right here, we're gonna get rid of it. Get that out of the way. We got a little branch right here we're gonna get out of the way. Some of these lower branches here. This one's dead. You're gonna always make sure you get your dead stuff out. Got another lower one right here. Get that out of there. We got, let's see here, where I'm on the other side of the tree from that. We got that one's got to go. That one's got to go. We got a little stub coming off right here. This one's got to go. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to pick one of these over here. I'm going to probably let it go. Probably get rid of this one and this one. I'm probably going to let this one go. Get another one here. Get that out of the way. We got a water sprout right here. I think I'm going to take it off. Get it out of the way. I believe I'm going to go ahead and take this one off right here because it's just up under the tree. I want to make sure we get some airflow up under here. All these little bit of lower ones right up in here. We're going to get the tips out of these at about 6.5 foot. Our water sprout right here is going to be eventually become a tree. What I'm going to do, this side, I'm going to cut it just a little bit lower. It'll branch. This one already has some good branching on it, so we're going to leave it. Looks like we've got, I think everything else is pretty good for this year. Now next year, we may do a little bit heavier pruning next year, take off a few of these lower ones next year. But this year, we're going to try to keep our berry count up, leave some of the other ones in, but that's a little bit more about what we want them to look like. Not a bad looking tree. I know it's a little difficult to see, but it does still have some good shape. Next year will be a little bit heavier pruning than this year to give it a more definite shape. Okay, now this is a different variety blueberry we have on our place here. This is called an Alapaha. The Alapahas still have some of their leaves on them. We actually have a tree here next to me that's actually trying to bloom now. But the pruning on these is basically just like the premiers. The premiers were the first ones we were doing. We want to look down here. We want to see how many canes we have. We have a little one there we're going to get rid of. I may leave that little one there, but we've got one coming up inside in here. We don't want these little ones coming up at the ground. We've actually got two here coming up together. We're going to just leave one of them and take one of the other ones out, the smaller out, leave the larger. You want to look in here, we've got some sprouts coming off of these. Our objective right now is to train this tree to eventually be tall and to be erect. We want to look and you know, these are just basically sprouts right now, but we've got 1, 2, and these are kind of spaced out. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll probably take the smallest one over here out on the side. That forces all of our growth up on the top part of the tree. And 2, like we said, when we're actually doing our manicuring of the blueberries with the mowers, as long as we don't have these little low limbs hanging out around the bottom of it here, we're not hanging on them, jerking the tree over to the side, knocking the berries off. So this is the Alapaha, and this is kind of what I'm looking for in them. I want them to be a little bit more open, where more airflow can get in. The lower limbs is gone. That's what we're mainly after in the 3rd year of the blueberry pruning. Okay guys, in the south here where we live at, we've found that there's 2 basic varieties of blueberries that do really well on our particular piece of property. One is the Premier, the other one is the Alapaha. The Premier is our primary blueberry bush. We have 41 Premier plants. We brought in 9 Alapahas to cross-pollinate with. The Premier makes a blueberry that can get as large as a quarter sometimes. Most of them stay about the size of a nickel if they're pruned right and watered and fertilized properly. The Alapahas like this here, they come on in clusters. They hang in big tags. They predominantly get ready pretty quick, whereas the Premier tends to get ready over an extended period of time for hand picking. The Alapahas get ready not all at once, but probably within a 2-week period. They're in and out here at our particular location, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to be able to come in and get some berries and get them in and out, yet pollinate the other berries and have them to produce over a longer period of time, so that in our hand picking we're not swamped with this thing all at once, because 50 trees will eventually be more than what Wanda and I can pick by ourselves. And that's why we're keeping them thinned out as well as we do, and not no more canes than we do, is because we're not looking for something that's just overproducing to the point we just can't handle it. Fertilization, the first couple of years you plant them, you don't want to fertilize them real heavy. You want to make sure that the soil is like a 5.5 pH so that they do pretty good. 5.5 to 4.5 I found here on our homestead does really well. We mainly fertilize in the early spring and the early summer. We don't fertilize in the late summer because it puts too much new growth on, and it will have an overwinter kill of the new growth if it gets extremely cold, because the wood hasn't had time to harden off just yet. The berries grow on the new growth coming out, 1 year or less stock. They don't usually grow too much on the older stock. Now they will grow some on the older stock, but primarily you want the new growth coming out, because that's what the berries will produce on 1 year or less. We have found that to be true here, because what we left for this coming year, this one right here, like these are already budding out, really good for blueberries. There's actually, guys, there's 3 blueberries right there already, where you can see it, but here is actually the blueberries that have already formed in the cold. So the Alapaha is a very early producer. We want our berries to produce early here. That's why we go with the Premier and the Alapaha, because later in the year it's just too hot, too humid, too wet, and the berries seem to not do well. The earlier varieties seem to do better here in the Deep South. So guys, we've got a lot of the orchard pruned. Got a few more trees to go. And guys, let me say something. The senseis here, these things are invaluable to doing blueberry pruning. They have worked out really well for us. They're a very hardened steel. Look like they haven't rusted, so they look like they may have some stainless in them. Good rubber handles, self-opening, side-by-side cutters. You want to keep you some, I might want to tell you this, I didn't show you, but you might want to keep you a little bit of bleach and water going from tree to tree. Even though blueberries are not very prone to diseases where we live at, we don't have any problems here, and I don't really worry about it too much. But if I was doing my apple trees or my pear trees with these, I'd keep a little bleach water to stick these in between trees to make sure I didn't spread any type of disease. Now I do see on the back side of these pliers here, they have a gouged out place, and what that does is when you cut the wood with this, it allows it to slide freely, and it does give you some extra sharpening area on the sides of it there. So works out really good. I like the ratchet system on the side here. You push it up, little lever, you can lock them, they unlock. This is all adjustable here, everything. I hope the blueberry video has been an inspiration to you. And if you have any questions, if I didn't cover something, don't put fireplace ashes around your blueberries. In the summer, the early summer, we use some ammonium sulfate because you want to put the sulfur to make the soil more acidic. You do not want a high pH soil. You don't want to put any lime, no fireplace ashes. Pine needles around them is okay. Oak leaves around them is okay because they all are carbons. They're going to make the soil a little bit more acidic. Pick a variety for where you live at that do good. There's high bush, low bush, rabbit eye. You know, these are the rabbit eye variety. Depends on whether you're looking for a variety to pick with a machine or pick by hand, will determine the type of tree you get and what its purpose is for. So do your homework. Here we won't hand pick. That's why we went with the Premier and the Alapaha, because they work perfect. Now the Tiff Blue was very popular. We have that on our other farm out here where my dad lives. But the Tiff Blues we don't care about too much. They are sweeter, but they get ripe all at once, and they get ripe late in the season. And what usually happens is if it starts raining, they begin to burst and they get sticky, and they're only used, the only thing that they're any good for from that point on is really like jellies and jams and stuff like that. They're not good for fresh marketing. So we don't recommend the Tiff Blue here in the Deep South. And I really do appreciate y'all for hanging around to watch the blueberry pruning video. And if you have any questions, leave them in the links down below, the comments, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Thank y'all from Deep South Homestead.